Hey YouTube, it's Biliv here, and today I'm back with the second episode of my Team Career mode on F1 22. And today we've got the second race of Season 1 in Saudi Arabia. But before I do that race, I've got to do this new Pirelli Hot Lap feature. I could skip it, but there's a potential for me to get 1,000 acclaim and $100,000 in the bank, so it's definitely worth doing. But before I get into that, I just want to show you the R&D that I've got going on at the minute. I think you've seen the aero and the chassis one because I did them in the last episode, but I've also got a powertrain one on at the minute. I decided to improve the ignition system because my powertrain is pretty poor, so I need to get that better. And I want to have enough R&D to be able to afford the monocoque upgrade after Saudi Arabia. And the powertrain upgrade was the cheapest one I could find. And I think it's the only one which will potentially give me a chance to have enough R&D after Saudi Arabia to afford the monocoque upgrade. And as you can see, that'll give me such a big weight reduction boost, so it's definitely worth saving up for. But anyway, I guess I should do the Pirelli Hot Lap now, and I'm going to choose the average speed zone. So to get the gold medal in this challenge, I need to get 98 mile an hour average speed. So let's hope that I can do this. Obviously, the braking zone is so much bigger because the car is so much... Well, it's got a lot less downforce. That's the main thing. And I've lost a lot of speed through there because I'm used to it being an F1 car. And it feels so much more cumbersome. And I've not quite managed it there, I don't think. Although I did almost get it. I actually got it bang on. Oh my god. But I think I need to do it 3 times. So the first one, I've actually managed to get it somehow bang on. Now for the second run here, I know I can do a lot better because I've done it once and that was quite bad, but I already managed to get the target speed. So I can do it again and I'm sure I can get above the target speed. I've managed to get 99 mile an hour on that second run. And on that third run, I managed to get 100 mile an hour-ish, I think. So I've managed to get the gold medal in that challenge. So that'll give me 1,000 acclaim and $100,000, which will be very useful for me. There you go, 100.04 in the last one. So that's got me some nice rewards. And now, before we get into this race in Saudi Arabia, I just want to show you how the standings are looking. Obviously, it's after one race, so only 10 people have points, but that was the top 10, and this is the bottom 10. And me and Piastri actually qualified quite well in the last race, and Piastri was in 11th or 12th place, I think, before he had to pit on the last lap, so he was within a good chance of getting points potentially, or at least got close to him. So if we can both stay out of trouble this race, I'm hopeful that we can get ourselves some points. So let's get into the second race of the season in Saudi Arabia. And just before we go into qualifying, I'm going to buy the monocoque structure upgrade because I've done practice and I've got enough R&D now. And that'll be ready before Imola, I think that is, assuming it doesn't fail. So that should give me a good boost for Imola if that is on the car by then. So here we are now approaching the line for our first lap in Q1. And let's hope I can get a good lap off here. I think a lot of it all depends on how well I do the first sector. In that first turn, no, it wasn't awful, but I've definitely done better. This section here, there's so much time to be gained in getting this sector right. And I've done that fairly well through there. I've clipped the wall slightly there, but I don't think it's hindered me. And I've come out of there in decent time, I think. So hopefully I can do the rest of the lap pretty well. Here I am, I've just rounded the final corner. So let's get the run to the line and see what sort of time I set there. It's going to be a 1:32.1, which has put me second at the minute, but I don't know how many people have actually set laps. But that's not too bad. Here I am, just starting my second lap, and I'll have to keep an eye on the delta. I'm already lost a little bit of time going into this first corner, so I was obviously slower out the last corner, and that doesn't feel like it's gone as well as last time. Yeah, I've come out of that slower because my delta is green, but it's just dropping, so hopefully I can gain that back. Okay, I've definitely done that better. I've definitely gone quicker through there, I think. Although I have come out slower, so apparently I haven't gone quicker. I really thought I had. So as I approach the line here, I've not actually been able to improve, but I did just see on the top left that I think I'm going to be 5th in this session. So yeah, that is very impressive for this car. And I said after Q1 last episode, I think I'd have to up the difficulty. So I think I will actually do that now before Q2 because this car shouldn't be in 5th, even if it is only Q1. Yeah, because Piastri's come down in 20th. And Leclerc didn't even set a time, which is weird. So he'll be starting from the back of the grid, I assume. Okay, so the difficulty is actually locked. I can't actually put it up. If I do really well in this qualifying session, you know why. I'm going to deliberately hinder myself a little bit and load myself with a bit heavier fuel so it sort of counteracts the other lap times, hopefully. So, coming across the line to start my first lap in Q2. So let's see what I can do here. Let's see if I can make it through to Q3. So coming up to the line to complete this lap here, and it's a 1:32.9, which is quite a bit slower than my other lap in Q1, I think. So let's see where that'll have us. And after everyone's done their first lap, that does sit us in 12th. So I think the extra fuel has helped counteracting the balance of the difficulty there. So now I'm crossing the line for my second lap of Q2 here, so let's see if I can improve on my time or not. So as I approach the line here, I've managed to improve slightly on my time. So let's see where that puts me. And it's going to put me 14th on the grid. So I think that's probably around where we should be qualifying, to be fair. So I'm okay with that. So before I get in the race, I'm going to put the difficulty up to 83 because I feel like I was quite a bit better than the AI there. So I'll see how 83 does for me.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, George Russell, and Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Guan Yu Zhou, Vettel, Magnussen, Lando Norris, the rookie, Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll, Latifi, Oscar Piastri, Albon, and Charles Leclerc completes today's grid order. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, so just like in the last race, medium to hard looks like the preferred option here. Let's get into the formation lap and line up on the grid. So I managed to get myself a purple there, 0.2 meters from perfect, so that was pretty good. So as the lights come on here, try and reach the optimal RPM. I think I've just about got it. Try and get a good start off the line here. And that's been a pretty good start. Magnussen, I've gained quite a bit on him already. Try and get into turn 1 ahead of him. I've braked really early, but I think I've managed to just get myself ahead of Magnussen. Try and stay around the outside of him. There's a lot going on ahead of me. And I've managed to worm my way up into 11th here off the start. So I did get quite a good start there. And Magnussen didn't. Bloody hell, Tsunoda and Zhou fighting ahead of me. I've had to brake so I don't go into the back of him. That could have been very costly for me if I'd have gone into the back of him there. Magnussen trying to move on me now. He must be using ERS, but I'm going to try and keep it up the inside of him. I've had to back out of that there because he closed the corner off. And because of Tsunoda and Zhou ahead of me, I've lost the position to Magnussen there. Now it's one of the McLarens trying to go around the outside of me there. Almost pinched him into the wall, but I've managed to stay ahead of him, I think, and I have just forced him out there, just squeezed him out. It was Norris, and I'm falling quite far behind here, and I didn't even realise, so I was too busy focused on Norris. Now, going to use a bit of ERS along here to try and stay ahead of the pack behind and try and keep up with the drivers in front. Going to use more ERS down this straight. Need to catch up to Magnussen ideally because I want DRS so I can keep these people behind me. I was really slow out the exit of that corner, so Vettel's going to try and make a move on me down the inside here. Try and keep ahead of him, and I have done.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I hope there isn't an issue. Hopefully I'm not retiring from this race early. But I'm staying with Magnussen here, and I've managed to get within half a second of him, so I've definitely caught up quite well.
It looks critical.
Oh, are you kidding me? Lap 2 of this race, and we've got a DNF. Our engine is done in lap 2 of this race. That is so annoying. Why is Norris driving right behind me? Everyone else is going past me and Norris was just driving behind me. But 2 laps into this race, didn't even get to complete a second lap. We have had to DNF, and that is our race over already. That is gut-wrenching, to be honest. I was pretty good. I thought I was good around this circuit. I was setting good times in practice. I felt really good about it. Managed to get myself some places early on, and I've had to retire from the session because my engine's gone boom. That is so annoying. So by the looks of it, Verstappen has won this race. Is that Leclerc in second? He started on the back of the grid, so if that's Leclerc, he's done a very good job to get back up onto the podium there. And it's Leclerc and Sainz completing the podium, so after being on the back of the grid at the start, Leclerc has done a very good job to get himself back up into third. And he was leading the championship before this, and I think Verstappen finished third in the first race. So they might be level on points now. And Leclerc got the fastest lap, so he got the extra point. And as you can see, Vettel also DNF'd as well as me. And Piastri managed to come 17th from 20th on the grid, so not an awful performance from him. But very disappointing for us that we were only able to make it 2 laps into the race. And because of that, my claim has gone down for something completely out of my hands. It was the MG UK that went. We've already got to replace that for the next race. But we have a chassis department event here, so let's see what this is. So if we go with this, we could get a massive discount on something for our chassis, but the focus of Piastri will go down a lot. But if we do this, we still get a bit of a discount on the chassis upgrade, but Piastri's focus goes up. So I think I'm going to go with this, because having low focus on your second driver is very bad. They just finish at the back all the time. So I've got some activities for the next race here, and I'm going for the sponsor advertisement to get 500 acclaim and a bit of money. Then I'll go for the HQ tour because get some more acclaim again and some resource points, and getting some acclaim early on for our team, getting this much acclaim will be very helpful. Because once we get to level 5, we can get another sponsor and bring in some more money. And then I've gone reaction training for Piastri to up his focus. But now our rear downforce upgrade has completed, and we have 600 R&D points, so we can go for another upgrade here. So for the upgrade, I'm going to go for the front nose, because I think if I do this, in theory, it should lead to front wing upgrades. And at the upgrades that I can afford across all departments, this is the best one I can go for. So I'm going to go for this. And hopefully that should be completed by Imola. And now I have 2 R&D points left. And I did an R&D upgrade for my roll dampers as well, and that has completed, so I'll have them for the next race. So hopefully around Australia, my tyre wear should be a bit better. So I've got a powertrain department event here, so let's go see what they want. So I can get 600 resource points and lose a little bit of cash, or I can get nothing. So I'm going to go for the 600 resource points, because I think that means I can do another upgrade before Australia. Well, this upgrade won't come in before Australia. It'll actually come in after Imola, but it's better to get it done now because I can afford it and I want it done as soon as possible. So I'm going to upgrade the energy store cells positioning. But anyway, now we have made it to this Pirelli hot lap for the Australian Grand Prix. That's going to be the end of this episode. If you enjoyed the episode, well, what there was of it, I know you only saw 2 laps of a race, but if you enjoyed those 2 laps that I managed, then leave a like. If you want to carry on watching this series, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.